What did I miss? Brian here, and today we got another video for the Hi Capa. Today we're going to be doing a slight short stroking mod to the Hi Capa with these two metal washers. The short stroking mod is a pretty common mod that most people do with their gas blowback pistols, and you could do that with any pistol like a KWA, a KJW, WeTech, Armor Works, but in this case we're going to be doing that on my Tokyo Marui Hi Capa 4.3. There are multiple short stroking kits for the Hi Capas like Cow Cow, SES Shockwave, Angel Custom, and they're actually pretty nice. They would consist of either 6, 8, 10, or maybe even 12 guide rod spacers, and they could either be plastic, rubber, or in this case, metal, depending on which kit you get. However, depending on which kit you get, they can be really expensive for what they are. So in my opinion, it's not really worth spending up to 2 digits for little guide rod spacers like these. Now, there are some kits out there that are really colorful and have a unique design, and I think they look really cool. And you could play around with them and do like a cool pattern within the upper slide. However, it would be hidden behind the slide in the lower frames, so you'd be paying a lot for something that looks nice internally and you can't really show it off. These metal washers came from a nearby hardware store, and you could get them anywhere like Lowe's, Home Depot. In my case, I got them from Ace Hardware, and these washers fit the M8 metric bolt, and I was surprised to find out that they could fit the guide rod on the Hi Capa. One of these spacers is 65 cents, and since I have 2 of them, it's $1.20. And that certainly beats having to spend up to 2 digits for an X number amount of spacers, and I probably wouldn't even use all of them. Adding these spacers is pretty easy. All I really have to do is disassemble the gun, take the slide off, and then just pull the guide rod off and just add these spacers on there. Now, before I get into disassembling the Hi Capa, I want to show everyone how long the slide travel is without the spacer. The slide is locked, and you see the little space in that slide where the slide lock catches onto? I'm going to hold it up and pull the slide back. It reaches all the way to the front of the slide, and in my opinion, that's a long slide travel. It shoots nice, it shoots really smoothly, but there can definitely be improvements. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and disassemble the Hi Capa and add the spacers. Now, for those that aren't too familiar with disassembling Hi Capas, it's really simple. You disassemble it like a 1911. All you have to do is see that first curve on the slide, line it up with the slide lock. And then on the other side, you push the slide lock out. And there you go. You hear that little click and you saw it fly out. Just take it out. Then the slide comes off like that. Looking on the upper slide, you can see there's the blowback housing, the hop-up unit, and there's the guide rod. And on the guide rod, it comes stock with a rubber spacer, and that's where we're going to be adding the metal washers. I'm going to take the spring out for now, then take the 2 washers, and it doesn't really matter where you face them, just need to slide them in, and it's just that simple. You take the spring, you take the guide rod cover, and then you have to put in a little effort and hold it together, and then slide it back into the slide. And there you go, it's done. And all you have to do is slide it back onto the lower receiver. And then put the slide lock back in. And just like that, it's done. It's really simple, and I could still lock the slide with no problem. However, look at the slide travel now. See that? It's shorter, and the slide lock is not able to reach towards the front of that dip in the slide. So there's still enough room for the slide to lock on an empty mag and for me to power stroke it as well. And so that's why I like to slightly short stroke it, because if I were to fully do that, I would not be able to lock the slide at all. And if I run on an empty mag, well, no BBs but still gas in the mag, it would be dry firing constantly. And I prefer to have the slide lock on an empty mag. Now that the washers are in, let's get into the performance specs. With the stock setup, I wasn't really expecting much because I already knew that it came with a plastic slide. So I was expecting the kickback to be snappier, smoother, and for the gun to shoot a lot quicker. And the FPS is between 3 to 310 FPS. So out of the box, I already knew it was going to outperform most other pistols. However, whenever I added the guide rod spacers, or metal washers in this case, and this is only 2 of them, whenever I added 2 of them in there, the kickback was a lot snappier and it shot a lot quicker. And that is due to the shorter slide travel. So only 2 could make that much of a difference. And of course, the video doesn't do justice. But if you were to hold it in person and shoot it, you can definitely tell the difference between it and a fully stock Hi Capa. And so that is it for this short stroking mod. It's very short, very easy, and most importantly, very cheap. And all it took was $1.20 to make a noticeable difference. I could always spend more and add more, but I'd rather have the slide lock on an empty mag, but also have it cycle really quickly. If you have a gas blowback pistol and you want to short stroke it, but A, the short stroking kit is too expensive, or B, you can't find it anywhere, you could always go to a hardware store nearby and pick up metal washers, just as long as it fits the guide rod and in the gun itself. It's a lot cheaper, more budget friendly, and it only costs a few cents compared to paying 2 digits for a short stroking kit. So if you're subscribed, thanks. If you're not, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Take care everyone, I'll catch you on the flip side.